everybody, my name's Lul, and welcome to Tips and Tricks for Shark Players in Depth, okay? Now, I have a list to my right of 12 tips and tricks that I've been thinking of and kind of pondering about, and I just played a depth game to kind of get myself in the mood. It went terribly in the beginning, but I was able to pull it in and get a win for us. The Bull Shark can do that. The Bull Shark's early game is kind of weak, but late game he just goes ham, destroys some fools. So I have here 12 tips for Shark Players in Depth. These tips are meant for all level of players, but it is a little more oriented around newer beginner players. But if you're more of a veteran, you can listen to these. You might get some thoughts here and there. We'll see. Maybe you won't. Comment below if you think there are any more tips that maybe I could have missed. If you are more of a veteran player and wish to share, there you go. This is your moment to shine, to prove how good of a shark player you are. So without wasting any more time, let's start off with tip number 1: work with your teammate. Now you are a duo. You are a two-man force to be reckoned with. Okay, you want to make the divers scared of you. So let's start acting like it. Number 1, I want you guys to kind of communicate with each other. I want you to, when you first start off the game, say hello, something of the sorts. This will get you and your teammate kind of connected in a way, even if it's not a big connection. Maybe only say hello in the beginning. It's all you say ever. But just saying hello can actually influence the game greatly. Just say hi, and your teammate will automatically, unless, obviously there are those special people. But it's a great way to start a bond, get yourself motivated, get the game started, and get it flowing right, okay? Now, while you're still on this starting screen, you're also going to want to kind of build a team comp. Now, this game is great because you can play whatever you want. It is most, casual. You can play whatever shark you want, and you have a good chance of succeeding. But if you really want to, do the best you can, you're going to want to have a comp that has a tankier shark and a more fast and nimble shark, okay? The ammo modifiers that the divers get are generally kind of leaning towards one type of shark or the other. So whether it be poison, which is used for the tankier sharks, or bleed, which is used for the more nimble sharks, if you have the same shark, all 4 divers can get bleed, and it's gonna suck. Now you have perks that can counter this, and you can things that can kind of mix around. That's why this game was great. But on a basic sense, having one of each shark is just going to split up their weapon modifiers 2 and 2, which maybe they don't do weapon modifier, maybe they go for tagging or something of the sorts. But it's definitely a way to help, because bleed on a great white and poison on a mako, those two don't really work. Mako will just heal, and the blue great white doesn't move, so it doesn't matter. Continuing on with tip number 1, we have attack together. So I want you guys to be attacking together as much as you can. If you notice you're getting stomped, wait for your teammate to come and attack together. By attacking together, let's just say you both grab a survivor, or sorry, a diver, whatever you want to call them. That's 2 people that are just knifing you and they're not actually shooting. That only leaves two players to shoot at you, This severely limits the diver's firepower. So attacking together is a great idea, and especially if you have a tankier shark and a quicker shark. Tankier one goes in, all the divers look at the tankier one, and the nimble one comes in to get a quick easy kill or 2 while they're not even looking. So the tanky shark is taking the damage like it's supposed to. The nimble one is getting those kills like it's supposed to. If you do that, I guarantee you're gonna give the divers a tough time. Tip number 2: keep your bearings while thrashing. You don't need to be thrashing like a crazy maniac in this game, okay? Your thrash level is actually quite low. And unfortunately, I didn't learn this till a lot later in my depth career. Okay, I have a video that I'm gonna be popping up on the screen of me playing the bull shark, which is a great way to use this tip. And I go in and I get a 5-man kill with the bull shark. Now, there was some luck involved, some ill ideas or thoughts from the survivors chasing me to 0 health. But if you see in this video, my thrashing is pretty close enough so I can target another survivor. A faster shark is great for this because they can get the survivor and get out of the room using a powerful tail, or a more tankier shark like the great white or the bull shark or the hammerhead can use this to acquire a new target and go on combos and sprees, okay, which is my personal that's like my little rush of dopamine, because I love that feeling of getting one, getting the other, and you just know that they're pissed that they just all got eaten by one shark. Which I've done that many times using this trick. Has gotten 4 or 5-man feeds because you just keep on going and keep on going. It's great tip. So practice that next time you play, keeping your mouse nice centered, close to home. Okay, nothing too far, nothing too crazy. Extra little tip is sensitivity. Just use whatever you're comfortable with. You don't need a fast sensitivity for this, because the maximum thrash for that shark is not that high. Which is another thing to keep in mind. Certain sharks thrash at different speeds, so like a Thrashing shark is not going to kill as fast as a great white, excluding his ability. Tip number 3, don't lose from time. Now, it disappoints me and saddens me every single time I see a shark player or a shark team lose when they have 10 lives left and they lost because Steve made it to the end. You have to adjust your playstyle to how the game is going. If you're getting creamed and your lives are going down, then you need to slow the game down and only go for kills that are going to work together. You know, pushing, as I'm saying, together. Play smart, play tactical if you're lower on lives. If you're in this position where Steve's starting to head towards the end and you have plenty of lives left, then at that point, don't worry about waiting for your teammate. You just need to go in there and get a kill, because you have lives to spare. If you're losing by time, and you still have lives to spare, just throw them at yourself, at the divers. You know, throw them at Steve. If you hit Steve, you'll stun him. If you use, I don't remember what the perk's called. It shows a picture of a hammerhead. It's like Headstrong. I think it's Headstrong. You can actually just hit Steve and stun him for quite a while, unless the divers oh my goodness, unless the divers decide to repair him. If they're repairing him, they're not shooting at you. More kills for you, etc., etc. So if time is running low, hit Steve and rush. Get some hangry so you can move quicker. Just get back in there and spend those lives, because you have so many of them at that point that you can just keep spending. Now, if you're low on both, then you're out of luck there. But judge the game and play accordingly. Tip number 4: open walls. Too many times I see sharks coming in from the same entrance, life after life after life, and it's kind of hilarious because as a diver, it's the easiest thing in the world. You aim at the one door and they keep coming and you get free kills. Okay, open more than one wall. Make them scared. Even make some walls just so they're close to being broken, so that if you need it open, you know, at the time, you rush in there, you need to get out. You see the broken wall, you know you can get out really easy. So open walls. Don't take too long. You don't need to open every single nook and cranny there is, but open walls so you have yourself some options. You can attack from different angles. The divers can't all focus in one area. If they only have 2 or 3 doors open, divers can split their attention to focus them all. If you have 5 entrances, the divers are going to have a tough time keep an eye on where you are and what's going on. This gives you more angles to push in. It allows you to attack from different angles. Bigger sharks break walls in 2 hits. Smaller sharks break them in 3 hits. But I'm going to show another tip on the screen, which actually counters this. If you sprint into a wall, it counts as breaking it. So if you're a larger shark, you can actually sprint into a wall, hit it with your sprint, and then lunge, and then break through instantly. Or if you're a smaller shark, you have to sprint in, hit it, 2 hits. So you'll see a video of me doing both, of just hitting it like a normal shark and then doing that sprint trick. So getting headstrong on like a Mako is actually really powerful, because you can break into a full-blown wall instantly and scare the crap out of survivors, because they will not expect that. So watch this video and learn that tip. It's very great. Most people do not even know about this, so this is some top-notch tips you guys are getting here. Tip number 5: open walls ahead. So I'm gonna start a whole match that I played of Mako, where I played on, I believe the map's called Cove. There's a plane that a notorious plane that I know the divers always go to. Every time I'm playing this map, I spawn in, I walk over, and I break over, or swim over. I walk over and break open that plane, because I know the Steve is going to go there and he's going to get that chest there, and they're in open water. And as a Mako, open water is absolute haven. For Mako and Tiger, both of those, great place for open water. So I open that up, and the divers have no choice but to sit in open water, and you can just see them scrambling, and it's kind of devious to watch, but it's great at the same time. So watch this clip. You see me breaking it now, or maybe I already broke it. So keep an eye on it. If you watch as I'm talking, you'll see them in the open phase when they move there, and I just kind of keep going in and getting kills after kills. It's great. It's glorious. Okay. Next part of plan ahead. I'm getting myself mixed up here. Tip number 5. We still have plan ahead. Is attack in the open when they're moving, transitioning from location to location. So if you notice that Steve is moving or getting ready to move, you can see his how far he is in the top left corner of your screen. Then wait and let him move into the open water and attack him. Open water, for the most part, is your friend and is the best way to get kills, especially when Steve's on the move. So you don't want to be respawning or swimming back from spawn when they're in the open water, because that's a free 2 or 3 kills that could have gotten without any death. Now, there are variables and stuff like that, but generally speaking, that's a great time to get 2 or 3 kills knocked off their ticket list. Really easy, real quick. So keep an eye on that. I don't always do it, so I'm not even sure if I do it in these videos that I'm showing here. But it's something that you should try to keep in mind. I need to try to keep in mind more, and this game's all about improving. Every game's about improving, so it's something I'm going to be working on as well. But it is something that I do try to do. Tip number 6, adapt. You can counter everything the survivors do, and I mean everything. If we start off with just gear, you can counter the survivor. If survivor's using net gun and it's really hurting you, get razor fins. This allows you to swim by them and hurt them just by swimming by the survivors. It also allows you to hurt the survivors. The net. They net you. You will be able to get out of the net much faster, much quicker, and get back into the action. And you'll surprise some survivors. I've used the net gun, and then the dart shark got out like almost instantly and ate me. And I was really confused. Like, what did you just do? He says, razor fins, man. Underpowered perk, or underused perk. Excuse me, it's not underpowered. So razor fins to counter net gun. If they're using bleed, use plasmoid scales. It extends the lifetime of bleed much, or not the lifetime, but it makes it a lot less. So if you're a Mako or you're a quick like a Thresher, and you need to swim away, but you have bleed on you, which is kind of preventing you from swimming away, plasmoid scales gives you much more time to swim because it lessens the damage of bleed. If they're using poison, or toxic as it's called, use hemogenesis, I believe it's pronounced, if you're a bigger shark, as a great white. Because it basically counters poison, you still lose a little bit of health, so you're not gaining health or even, but it also gives you health regen, whereas plasmoid scales and hemogenesis basically do the same thing to poison. Together, if you have them both perks together, then you're going to heal from it. But by itself, each one does about the same thing, but hemogenesis also gives you health regen, so just use that first. If it's still a huge issue, then grab plasmoid scales up and you'll heal when you have poison on you. If you're using a lot of mines, you have Minesweeper. And this is my last tip for this section is if you have a good diver, if you press escape in the beginning of the match, you can see the diver's levels and everything of the sort. If you have one diver that's just kicking your ass, you can actually use electroreception to see their health bar. I suggest this perk like on every shark. That's all the first thing I grab is electroreception. You can see their health bar, and you can actually see what weapon they're holding. So you identify which diver is kicking your butt, know what weapon he's using, and then you can target him every time. If you put him in your mouth, then he's not shooting at you, and if he's the one that's killing you with his shots, then you're forcing his teammates to do it. So I've had a game where they had one good diver, and I just kept targeting him. And yes, that gave him all the tickets, and he was saying that I wasn't helping him, but realistically I really was, or I was helping him is what he was saying. But it was actually helping me out, because his teammates unfortunately weren't the best players. So by putting him in my mouth and having him just left click, that's all he can do, and he's relying on his teammates to save him, and they couldn't save him. This allowed me to chain kills, because as soon as he was done, I could move to another target, and I knew that they weren't competent enough to kill me, which is kind of mean, but you know what? You're a shark, be a bully, eat them. Tip number 7, know the sharks you are playing. So I'm not going to go through all the sharks in this video because that would be really, really long. And if I go through a shark in a tip video, I'm going to want to go in depth and not some lame little quickie, which I might do a little quickie here, so kind of countering myself. But know what shark you're playing. If you're playing a great white, then you need to understand that sprinting is your best bet of getting around, and that using the right click on great white is a terrible idea because you're going to drain all your stamina instantly. You want to sprint and left click. That's about all you want to do with the great white. Right clicking just drains your stamina. You don't want to do that. So you want to learn things. You don't want to learn double time because sprinting is going to benefit the great white stronger. You want to learn powerful tail is great on Mako and on Hammerhead because those two sharks are relying on grabbing a diver and either running away or hitting him into a wall. So find a shark that you like, and you can play this shark like almost exclusively if you like. If you just start the game and you just want to play one shark, and you can take one and start playing them over and over and over again. I would suggest maybe starting with like the tiger or great white. Those are great ones to start with. But learn a shark, learn what perks you like to go with it, how you like to use them. If you're jumping around too much, the play styles are gonna be different. If I play a lot of Mako and I jump to Hammerhead, it can be a little weird for a while because I'm not used to having that such a stamina restriction. Moving on to tip number 8, try and learn the perks that work together. So this kind of complements tip number 7. Where you learn what perks work for what shark, but now learn what perks work with each other. So serrated teeth is a great perk that goes with hangry. Serrated teeth makes them so they bleed if they kill you. They're still bleeding, kind of like bleed the divers have. So they need to find a medkit to heal. Hangry allows you to spawn and have almost infinite stamina for like 5 seconds. So that way you can make them bleed, spawn, and get back to them faster before they have time because they have to swim out the open to grab a health pack to stop this bleeding. Well, if you get there faster because of hangry, you're killing them. You kind of understand what I'm saying. More perks that work together well are ignore pain and adrenal glands. These are both expensive perks, so if you get these together, then you're already probably dominating. But adrenal glands allows you to get stamina anytime you take damage, and ignore pain allows you to anytime you take damage, it takes away your stamina before it takes away your health bar. So it's like an armor bar almost. Your stamina is like an armor and a stamina bar. Now it's not. This isn't a great you'll be invincible perk because ignore pain takes more stamina than adrenal gland gives with each bullet. But as like a great white, this adds like doubles your health. You get so much more health from this that you become godlike tanky. And if you have this perk and like you have it on like a bull shark and you rage, you're gonna have so much health. It's gonna be insane. You could probably tank like 10 bomb harpoons. That's just probably not, but you understand what I'm saying. The last little group here of tips, there are more perks that work well together. The last little group I wrote down was Blood Rage and Blood Feast, both of which one gives stamina and one gives health after a kill. So this just combos well. You go eat a survivor, you get out of there. I like it on my Mako, and then your stamina and health instantly regen to full. You're ready to go back in. So obviously other perks will work well together. Either shark specific perks that go well with like Violet Frenzy or something of the sort. But kind of learn what perks you like to use together. And this will benefit your play because it'll give you a faster sense of what you want, and when you're in the respawn screen, you won't be taking so long trying to decide what you need because you'll know, hey, I have serrated teeth, I'm getting hangry next. Tip number 9: diver location. So you need to pay attention to where the divers are at all times. Okay, divers are tricky motherfuckers. Keep that in mind. So first one is pay attention to where the location is. Understand where they are in their room. Understand if they've left. Some divers like to go sneak off and go get a bunch of gold using the DPV, the moving device. If you do this, notice, look in top left corner, see that all 4 of them are actually still alive, but you only see 3 in the room. Then most likely one of them is gone off in Never Never Land, and he's collecting gold, which can go up to 1,000 gold that he's returning. That's a lot of money for them. Go out, find him. That's a free kill for you, and that's gold they don't get. Plus, if he's invested money in the DPV, he's gonna do it again. And now you can watch him. And I can't tell you how many times I've won games because one diver just felt like he wanted to keep going off, and it was the easiest shit in the world, okay? So watch the divers and where they are. So they go out for gold. If this is an issue too, great hydroacoustics. This will pretty much give you their location at all times, no matter where they are on the map. And another thing to keep in mind is spawn protection. So when you kill, let's say you go in and you get a 4-man feed, or you and your friend get a 4-man, you wipe out all of the survivors. You look in the top left corner, you see they're all grayed out, so they're all dead. Or not grayed out, they're all empty. You know what I mean. Then you want to get out of the room, because when they spawn, they're going to have about 3 seconds of invincibility where they won't be highlighted for you, and you'll go through them if you lunge at them. But they can still hurt you. This is kind of an annoying thing, because I've had divers who have known this, so they dive out, as soon as they spawn, they rush out of the room to kill a shark, because they know a shark's nearby, and they know they can't get killed. So keep that in mind. So if you get a feed, don't hang around. If you hang around that room, they're going to spawn, they're going to kill you. No point in hitting Steve. They can heal him really easy. This is just something to keep in mind. And the last thing I want to talk about in dive location is some divers just like to take a long ass time on the respawn screen. Use that to your advantage. If there's only 3 of them or 2 of them alive, get in there and get a kill. Because you look in the corner, they're not alive. Might as well go in there, because most likely you're going to have a 2v2 or 2v1 or 2v3 or something of the sorts, which is highly in favor of you. So go in there. If you're low health, you can contemplate, where's the game going, do I want to rush in, and stuff like that. But this is a great time for you to attack. Tip number 10, we're getting to the end here. Mind games. This is more of a shorter tip, but you can really trick the divers in how you play. This is open for interpretation. You can do different things. One of the things I have to do is fake my direction. So I break a hole in a wall that they're looking at, and it'll create a little hole, and I swim across it, so they think, okay, he's moving around this, to this side of the map. And then I swim up and fake it and come from a different angle. This way I get 1 or 2 divers that will think they're smart, and they'll look at one direction, and I just sneak around from behind and get them. And it's getting in and getting someone in your mouth without taking any damage is almost a free kill, unless they have insane reactions. And a 1-for-1 kill for a diver or for a shark is usually a benefit, since you're getting those free kills on the open water or when Steve's are turning and stuff like that. So you're getting free kills in there. So 1v1s plus free kills equals a win. Another thing you can do is you can actually bait the survivors. If you kill a diver, you'll hear the gold fall. This especially happens when you get a diver with a DPV that's returning home. You get him to die near the location, they'll come back for that gold. So you can sit there and wait, and you'll watch them swim out for the gold, and you go get in their kill. So I've done that a few times as well. You just listen for that gold sound, so you know how much gold they're dropping and know they're gonna go back to get that. Greedy little bastards. And you can also see them in shark shields. This is another not a well-known tip. most divers will leave their lights on, their flashlights on in shark shield, and as long as you can get your camera angle as a shark into the shark shield, you can see inside the shield almost fine. There's no highlights, but you can see them swimming around, and you have flashlights. It's so much easier. So many times I've baited them out because they think, okay, I'm in a shark shield. I can swim out of the room, and they can't see me, and I'm safe. But where in fact I'm actually into the shark shield, so my camera's inside the shield. They come out, and I can see their flashlights plain as day. It's a free kill. They've even told me that I'm hacking because of this little trick. So keep that in mind. If the divers have their flashlights on, you can see them in a shark shield. If you're playing as the Mako shark and you mark somebody and they go into a shark shield, you can't mark them when they're already in. They have to be out and then swim into the shark shield. They'll stay marked, so that's still like a free highlight for them. Or if you play as like the goblin shark, the little fake decoy will go and lunge for somebody. So if you want to kind of keeping track where it's going, you'll know where they are exactly. But the shark shield is not actually as strong as it thinks. Most of the time, it can actually help the shark out. As a bull shark, you can gain your rage like insanely fast just by sitting in a shark shield. You'll get it full in like a few seconds. Tip number 11. This is kind of a weird tip. Play as the divers. You'll be surprised how many times I've played as a diver and been like, oh, this shark killed me in this way. I didn't know he could do that. Well, now I know from now on. The shark, you can do this trick or so on and so forth. You learn how the divers dash, you certain things. So I'm sure you guys are playing as both diver and shark, but playing as a diver will really enhance your shark gameplay. And if you want to be a shark main and just play shark, play a few rounds as a diver. Not only are you getting your money's worth because it's not a free game, but you're also learning how to become a better shark. So play a few divers games, kind of understand what they're doing, what they're thinking. It's a good thing. You'll also learn the spawns of health kits and stuff like that. My last tip, this is a kind of extensive tip, and it only comes in play when you get a lot stronger as a shark, is high-level divers, okay? I have played against some of the top divers in this game. If you look in the leaderboards and you look at like CNXT and Sinopia and some of those other guys, those are just two memorable ones. I've played against them as shark, and I got my ass kicked a few times. I think I did win a game or two, but they are great players. Give them credit for that. But some of the things I learned is high-level divers will actually memorize what heartbeat they need to dash at, and kind of how it works, and they'll dash right as you push in. So you need to keep that in mind. You can count their dashes. They have 2 dashes in reserve when they don't move. So keep that in mind. And what you can do to counter this is if you can either try to predict where they're coming from, or you can actually not lunge until you dash. So one thing like the Great White is strong at is just sprinting in and left clicking, like almost when you're touching them. So if you notice they're dashing at the right times, get close. Get closer before you lunge, because then they'll lunge thinking you're lunging in, when in fact they're just giving you an easier target to get to. So just sprint into them. Don't lunge until you see them lunge already. If you notice that they're great players and they are lunging and you're missing every single dive. Okay. Now also high level play. Beware of the chases. High level players think they're something, and some of them are, and they will follow you. They will chase you to the ends of the earth to get a kill. You can use this to your advantage by having a teammate who can cover your back. This is kind of on the work together thing. If you're being chased, have your teammate come and help you. If you can, this can help more if you're talking. If you're on like voice comms or so forth. Or you can try to set up an ambush, or you can just try to run away. But many divers will chase you at higher levels. Even at younger levels, they'll chase you. But use it to your advantage. I personally, anytime I'm chased, generally end up with killing them because I learned the maps and how this works and so on and so forth. But keep that in mind that they will probably be chasing you. Divers can hear your movements as well. It's another tip that I learned a while back. Is a lot of players, the open water will actually be their advantage because they'll sit and they'll listen and they'll hear your sprinting speed or your lunging speed. So keep that in mind. If they're in the open water, sometimes it's your best bet to actually swim up slower to them. Now, obviously, this is also as drawbacks because you're swimming slower to them, giving them more time just to look around and find you. But if you swim slower, they actually can't hear your swimming until you're really close. But if you're sprinting, they can hear you from quite a distance off. So that'll prevent you from having those divers that will just go in the open water and just pick you off and you just can't kill them. It's because they can hear you swimming around. When they're doing this in this open water, don't forget you can attack them at an angle from above and below. A lot of times they'll kind of keep themselves on a plane and they'll just look around that plane. So attacking from above or below will actually be quite unexpected for them. So keep that in mind. You can try that. Tiger shark is great in Mako, but I would say tiger more particularly is better at killing these divers who are out in the open. One of the games I played against these high level players, I switched to tiger and almost won, still lost. So not the best story, but because I would just use my invis plus my slow movement to get into them, and they would have no clue where I was coming from, so it'd get me a kill when they expected to get me. They didn't hear me and they couldn't see me. So Tiger Shark can help you in that advantage. Otherwise, I don't think it's actually that great of a shark. It's kind of the most average shark we have here in depth at the moment. And lastly, one thing you can try, if you notice a diver has like a harpoon gun, and you know they predict you're coming, they shoot at you straight, you can actually lunge to the side intentionally and then lunge again. So if you have a shark that can lunge twice with deep reasonable stamina, then don't be afraid to lunge near them, intentionally missing, so you're kind of dashing to the side. It's like slanting towards them, so it's harder for them to hit you because they can't shoot straight on because you're heading towards them. You're heading to the side. It's harder for them to hit you. And then dash on. So I've done that a few times. I knew they had a shotgun, so I dashed and dashed, you know, so they had to shoot twice, and you know they have to shoot their harpoon gun, and they have to reload it, so while they're reloading it, you can kill. Blindsided can help with this a little bit too. But don't be afraid to try some sneaky maneuvers, you know. Dash, make them think they're gonna make them use one of their dashes with yours, and then dash again to get them, you know, you can do some trickery with this stuff to kind of trick them out. So even though it may seem like all hope is lost and these advanced divers kicking your ass, there is a way for you to catch up, and there is a way for you to kill them. You just kind of got to figure it out. It's difficult, but I promise you can do it. That's all the tips I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you disliked it, then dislike it and lower my self-esteem. Didn't want it anyway. If you have any more questions or something happened in a specific scenario in your shark game, you'd like to comment, ask what you should have done, or questions or something of the sort, I'll be happy to answer them. If you are a veteran shark player, then please do post your wise, wonderful wisdom in the comments below. I would love to hear it. I am not the best shark player, I'm going to say that right now. I have about 200 hours, but as I said, about 50 of that is playing against some really strong dudes. And the last thing I say is there's an event right now where you get a vote for skins they have in the game. For the love of God, vote for my boy the Mako. Tiger Shark's kicking ass, and I don't like that. I love the Mako. Please. Please. I need my Mako skins, boy. I need them. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. We'll be right back.